boys and girls, it's Aunty Mimmi here. Are you ready for part 2 of Noddy Goes to School? If you've not listened to part 1, go and find that video first and then come back. Enjoy! Then little Tubby came in, and you should just have seen the two of them dancing together. At last they were very tired, and they sat down panting. "Tubby, you go to school too. Can you please teach me anything?" asked Noddy. Tubby looked at him. "Well, I could teach you how to growl," he said. "I can growl beautifully. Listen." He pressed himself in the middle and a growl came out at once. "Oh yes, that's fine," said Noddy. "I'd like to learn how to do that." "I put my hand just here, you say, Tubby?" "Yes, now press your little wooden tummy and make it growl," said Tubby. But what a pity, no matter how hard Noddy pressed his little wooden middle, it wouldn't growl. "Well, never mind. Perhaps we could get Monkey here and let him teach you how to swing from a branch of a tree by your tail," said Tubby. "But I haven't got a tail," said Noddy. "Teach me how to grow one first." "I don't know that," said Tubby. "Noddy, I'll walk to you with school tomorrow and you can sit next to me, instead of next to that horrid Gilbert Golly. He nearly got the slipper today, didn't he? Miss Rapp can spank very hard with it, you know." Noddy made up his mind he would never get the slipper. He looked at all the writing. He said to Tubby, "I must practice some more writing. I've still got the walls to write on. It's lucky they are washable. Goodbye." Tubby went and Noddy began writing again, all over the walls this time. "Work hard, little Noddy. You'll be top of the school one day." Noddy isn't very clever. Noddy soon began to enjoy school. He worked very hard indeed, and Miss Rapp was pleased with him. Little Tubby Bear sat next to him and helped him a lot. Each morning there was marching round the room, and the leader always had a drum to beat. Boom, 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 diddy, boom. How Noddy wished and wished he could be the leader and have the drum. And then one morning Miss Rapp called him out in front and gave him the drum. "You've done such a good week's work that you shall be the leader of the marching, and bang the drum," she said. Noddy was so pleased he marched proudly round the room, banging the drum. Boom, 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 diddy boom. And then another day he did such a beautiful painting of little Tubby Bear that Miss Rapp pinned it up on the wall for everyone to see. He went to tell Big Ears about the drum. "I banged the drum today," he said, "like this. Big Ears, boom, 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 diddy boom. And I make a louder boom boom than anyone else does." "Now don't you begin to bow," said Big Ears at once. "Your head is growing down nicely, and you don't want it to swell up again, do you?" "No, I don't," said Noddy, feeling his head. "It feels almost right, Big Ears. Shall I try on my dear little hat again and see if the bell rings?" "No," said Big Ears, "you aren't cured yet." Noddy went to tell Big Ears about his beautiful painting 2 days later, but he didn't boast about it, and Big Ears was pleased. "You're getting much nicer," he said. "I'm quite glad I know you, Noddy. Are you still bottom of the school?" "No, I'm creeping up," said Noddy. "I'm better than the Clockwork Mouse now, and better than Gilbert Golly, and better than the Pink Dog. But I'll never win a prize, Big Ears, so please don't expect it." "No, I won't expect it," said Big Ears. "Miss Rapp always gives a concert at the end of term, and you'll be in it, but I'm afraid you won't win a prize." "No, I'm not very clever after all," said Noddy sadly. "And I really did think I was. But I do drive my car well, don't I, Big Ears?" "You shouldn't even say that," said Big Ears. "Let other people say it for you." And, oh dear, will you believe it? Poor Noddy ran into a tree on the way home and knocked it down. It belonged to the Wobbly Man, and he was very cross indeed. He wobbled after Noddy at once. I'm sorry, called Noddy in alarm. Your tree got in my way. You're a very bad driver to let trees get in your way, said the Wobbly Man. Why don't you hoot at them, silly? They don't take any notice of hooting, said Noddy, putting the tree up again. There, the tree's quite all right. Don't make such a fuss. If you talk to me like that, I'll wobble all over your car, said the Wobble Man, and Noddy drove away in alarm. Oh dear, perhaps he wasn't such a good driver after all. I wish I had my little blue hat back, he thought. I don't feel right without it. What a dreadful thing to be so vain that my head swelled up and I couldn't wear my dear little hat. I do miss its tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. And then, dear me, Noddy got a cold. A tissue. A tissue? Whoosh! It's because you keep driving out in your car without your hat, said Mrs. Tubby Bear, looking over the fence. What happened to your nice blue hat? Put it on, Noddy. I got a swollen head and it wouldn't fit me any more, said Noddy sadly. Big Ears is keeping it for me until my head fits it again. Dear, dear, a swollen head is a shocking thing, said Mrs. Tubby. Well, you certainly must get a hat, Noddy. I'll lend you one of mine. She made him put on a little bonnet of hers, trimmed with flowers. But, oh dear, how? Gilly Golbert and the others laughed at him. He wouldn't wear it the second day. Tubby Bear played a trick on him the next day. He came out with what looked like a dear little hat, with a pattern on it. Here you are, he said. Wear this, Noddy. A tissue. Thank you, said Noddy, and put it on. But oh dear, it isn't a hat, it's a little lampshade out of Tubby's bedroom. And Noddy didn't know it. Oh, Noddy, Noddy. Well, of course, everyone laughed still more, and Gilbert Golly said he would lend him a plant pot to wear in case the lampshade wasn't warm enough. Noddy was very cross with Tubby and the cheeky Golly. He took off the lampshade and pressed it down so hard on Gilbert Golly's head that he couldn't get it off, and he went home crying with the shade stuck down over his nose. Mrs. Tubby Bear saw him going down the street and was most astonished to see one of her lampshades on his head. She ran after him and pulled it off. Then she gave him a spanking, which Tubby really ought to have had. Gilbert Golly howled. It serves you right, said little Noddy, who was watching in delight. You're a nasty, horrid little tease, and you've often got me into trouble. Now you know what it feels like. Then Gilbert Golly ran after him, and he fled. A tissue. Oh, if only he had his own dear little blue hat again, with its tinkling bell. The day of the concert. The day of the school concert drew nearer. What fun it was going to be. Everyone was doing something. I'm doing a sailor dance, said the little sailor doll. We're singing a skittle song, said the skittles. And then Billy Ball is going to roll on the stage and knock us all down. We're going to yell like anything. I'm singing a quacking song, said the toy duck proudly. I'm saying a poem about a sweep, said Gilbert Golly. I've got a sweep brush too. I don't like your quacking song, Dillyduck. I'll sweep you away with my brush. You won't, said Noddy, who was very fond of the little toy duck. I'll see you don't. I'll hide your brush. I'm doing a nice growly song, said little Tubby Bear. I've been practising it at home. Oh, so that's what you've been doing, said Noddy. I kept hearing you every night. I thought you must be ill. We're dancing a fairy dance, said the two fairy dolls. I shall clap and clap, said Noddy, who thought the fairy dolls were just about the prettiest he had ever seen, and I shall nod my head madly. What are you going to do, Noddy? Asked Monkey. Nothing, said Noddy sadly. Miss Rapp says I'm not good enough to sing. I can't dance well because my left foot gets in the way of my right one. And I can't say a poem because I keep forgetting what comes next. And I can't quack or growl, though I've tried. I can only nod my head. You're not very clever, said Gilbert Golly. Not at all clever. Fancy not doing anything at the concert. You won't get a single prize, said the sailor doll. I can't help it, said Noddy, hanging his head. I could sing one of my own songs, but people would think I'm being very vain if I did, and I'm trying not to be, so that I can get back my dear little blue hat with the tinkling bell. Well, the day of the concert came at last, and everyone arrived to hear the toys and see them. Mrs. Duck came to hear Dillyduck, Mr. and Mrs. Golly came to see Golly Gilbert, and Ma Skittle came to see all the little Skittles singing. There was quite a crowd in the schoolroom. Miss Rapp had had a platform put at one end. Her pupils were longing to begin the concert, and at last it was time. They all came on together and sang the opening song. Noddy too. Big Ears was there and he waved to him. Dear old Big Ears, how nice of him to come, even though Noddy wasn't doing anything by himself at the concert and wasn't even having a prize. You would have loved that concert. It was wonderful. Dillyduck quacked her little song and everyone clapped. Look at her, isn't she sweet? Gilbert Golly was a great success and swept a pretend chimney so hard when he said his poem that he almost swept the piano off the platform. Little Tubby Bear was clapping so loudly that he had to come on and do his growling song all over again. Noddy clapped him till his hands nearly wore out. At the end, the little Clockwork Mouse was supposed to take a bunch of flowers and give them to Miss Rapp with a nice little speech. But just at the very last minute, he said he couldn't do it. I can't, I'm too shy. I shall forget what I've got to say. I shall swallow my whiskers. I shall fall over my tail, he squealed. Well, somebody else must do it then, said Gilbert Golly. I can't. I'm no good at that sort of thing. Besides, I don't know the speech that the Clockwork Mouse was going to make. Nobody knew it except the Clockwork Mouse. Oh dear, whatever were they to do? Well, I do like Miss Rapp so much, said Noddy at last. I can't bear her not to have her flowers and a nice little speech. I'll do it, and if I make a muddle of it, well, I just can't help it. Everything comes right. So Noddy went bravely on to the platform all by himself with an enormous bunch of flowers. What was he to say? Oh dear, do think of something, Noddy. And will you believe it? A little song came into his head, all about Miss Rapp. What a lucky thing. Noddy sang it, out at the top of his voice. Hooray for Miss Rapp, she is perfectly sweet, from her hair on her head to the toes on her feet. She teaches us writing, she teaches us sums, and everyone's happy whenever she comes. 3 cheers for Miss Rapp, hooray and hooray, our concert is over, that's all for today. And then little Noddy went up to the surprised Miss Rapp, bowed very low and gave her the flowers. She really was delighted. Noddy went back behind the stage with the others. How did you think of that song? Said the sailor doll. It was wonderful. Fancy singing it all without making a mistake, said Tubby. Why, I've never even heard the song before. Nor have I, said Noddy. feeling just as astonished as the others. "It came straight out of my head." "Where did it get out?" asked the Clockwork Mouse, looking all around Noddy's wooden head. "Well, from his mouth, of course," said the Skittle. "Don't be silly. Now hush. We've got to go down to our seats in the classroom. It's the prize giving. Ooh, I'm longing for my prize." They all went quietly to their places and sat down. Only Miss Rapp was on the platform, and in front of her were piles of exciting looking books and prizes. "Little Dillyduck," called Miss Rapp, holding up a picture book, "a prize for learning to turn her toes in so nicely." Dillyduck waddled up in delight and took the book. "The Clockwork Mouse for being a fast runner," called Miss Rapp, and up went the mouse proudly. "Gilbert Golly for learning to read at last," said Miss Rapp, and up went the little gollywog. Everyone clapped loudly. One by one all the pupils went up. Noddy felt sad that he had won no prize at all. If only he was clever at something. He sat close to Big Ears and hoped that no one would notice he was the only person who hadn't won a prize. But what was this? Miss Rapp was calling out his name. Yes, it really was his name. "Little Noddy, a prize for being such a dear little fellow." "Little Noddy, come up, please." Noddy was so surprised that he just sat and stared, his head nodding madly. A prize for him? No, it couldn't be. "Go on up, Noddy," said Big Ears, giving him a push. "Hurry, we want to clap you." And up went little Noddy, beaming all over his face, almost falling up the step in his hurry. "There you are," said Miss Rapp, smiling at him, "a prize for being such a dear little fellow. You should have heard the clapping and cheering. Really, it was wonderful." And Big Ears felt so proud of Noddy that he nearly got up and danced. "You must come home for tea with me, Noddy," he said. "I'm so pleased about your prize. I've got a nice new chocolate cake and we'll share it." So they went home together, and Big Ears put his arm round Noddy very proudly indeed. To think that his friend had won such a very, very nice prize. When Noddy got to Big Ears' house, the first thing he saw was his little blue hat hanging up on the peg. "Oh dear, I do wish I could wear it again," he said. "I don't feel right without it somehow." Big Ears took a good look at him. "Noddy, your head looks quite small again," he said. "I don't believe you're vain or proud any more, are you?" "Oh no," said Noddy. "I know quite well I'm not clever now. Why, I wasn't even properly in the concert. I didn't do anything by myself at all, except give the flowers to Miss Rapp. I can't be vain now, Big Ears." "Then you can't be swollen-headed any more," said Big Ears. "Let's try on that hat." He took it down. Noddy pulled it on his head, and it fitted. It really and truly fitted, and its bell tinkled loudly. Jingle, jingle, jingle. "Oh, my head's gone back to its right size. I'm cured," cried Noddy. And he took Big Ears' hand and made him dance round in a ring. He sang loudly. "Oh, now I'm as happy as anything. I've got my hat with its jingle jing. I won't be proud and I won't be vain. I've got my little hat back again." "I'm so glad," panted Big Ears. "You're such a nice little fellow, Noddy. I'm so glad." "And so are we, little Noddy. Have your chocolate cake and be happy. We'll see you again soon." Well, that was a wonderful book, wasn't it, boys and girls? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, be kind to one another, look after one another, and try and have some fun every single day. Until next time, bye-bye.